Hey yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a lion's mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11 we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good afternoon. Yeah, I went live a little early. Oops, I made a mistake, but it happened. Yeah, there is a lot of free agents that are there, but there's also a lot of time for teams to re-sign them. They have 2 weeks into the season, which is the team re-signing period. So until I see who's actually available in free agency, I don't own them as free agents yet, because we all know teams that are over the cap, they will maneuver the cap to make room and re-sign the players they want. So I want to see these guys hit free agency. The same with, I think Juwan Jennings will, because he was upset he didn't get a deal last year and Ayuk did. And then look what Ayuk did to the 49ers. I know he's upset about that. So it is what it is. So thank you for watching. I posted the interview I did with MMM Journal on Facebook, and it's going around on LinkedIn as well. I've also sent it to Messenger to a few people. I'm honored and humbled that me, just a little guy in Michigan, is getting some national coverage, and it's kind of cool to me. So there isn't a lot out there for Lions news, guys. But yeah, there is a lot of free agents coming up. I've looked through the list too, and usually out of that top 50 of the free agents that are coming available, only about 20 of them hit the market on an average. Because if they're good players, teams make room for them, Robert. But great points, though. I love it. There's a lot of guys out there, yes, that can help immediately. I believe some of the teams that are in cap trouble that may not be resigning somebody is more like the Bengals. If the Ravens don't sign Linderbaum, the team that does have the money and a tie to him is John Harbaugh and the Giants, and they have the cap room to sign him and swoop him up. So I think if he comes free, he's going to go there first and foremost. I'm not saying he's going to offer a discount for his play. So that's why I've been focusing on the draft and draft profiles, because that's something we know we have. We know we have certain picks unless a trade is made. So that's where my focus is right now until free agency actually starts. And I'm not trying to discount who could be free agents at all. Got 12 people watching on the channel already. Thank you, guys. You're actually beating out the Vikings people. It's amazing. I got one watching on the Facebook side. It's amazing. There you go. Already got a like out there. It's our boy, MDE. Thank you for the like. Thank you for the watch. Yes, I went a little early. It's okay. Mistakes happen. But that's why I've been writing my profiles. I do 2 draft profiles a week now as a focus on Mondays and Wednesdays. Because let's face it, Monday's going to be the Super Bowl review and a draft profile. There's not going to be a lot after that. Except, as soon as the Super Bowl's done, no matter who wins, there's going to be a record set by the Patriots, and there's going to be a new head coach for Las Vegas. And we know this already. Clint Kubiak, he's going to be the guy that goes to the Raiders as their head coach. next Monday, I'm probably going to focus on one of the defensive guys. I've done offensive guys so far this week. I did Logan Jones and Chip Trey Yanum. Logan Jones is possibly a midday 2 pick, possibly early day 3, and it depends if he falls, and he should. I think after the combine, he's going to be solidly a day 2 pick. He's that good. And that's why I take him at 50 all the time when I'm doing my mock drafts. It's we don't really need a guard as much as we need a tackle and a center. Skipper just retired. I think they've been training Manu to be the swing tackle, the extra tackle at times, and he's done okay, but not great. And I think they're going to work with him more. But if Decker retires, we need a starting offensive tackle. Uh, but the edge, I like Dennis Sutton from Penn State. He's clearly going to be there in day 2. We may end up trading back up into that 3rd round. We have an extra 5th. We have an extra 6th. We could package with a future pick to move up. There's all sorts of things that we could do to make it right. But if we give up the extra picks, that means we're going to go from 8 picks to 7 this draft, but 1 in every round. Yeah, I did a draft profile on him. He's one of the guys I like. I didn't get a chance to put a picture with that one because it was before I was making my thumbnails that I do for my articles. But I did Max Ahinacor. I did Kenyatta Jackson Jr. out of Overrated State University. You know what's funny is everybody thought he'd have a down year. He got 8.5 sacks opposite Abdul Carter, and people said, "Oh, I want to see him do it without him." He did it again. He did 8.5 sacks this year on a bad Penn State defense, a bad Penn State team. So he is that guy. Imagine what he'd do if he had somebody like Hutchinson opposite. So, but I think the O-line is our bigger focus, and that's why I did a lot of day 3 sleeper picks that I'm doing. Because think about it. Exactly. It all depends on the free agent move. Yeah, early start today. I accidentally hit the button, and I was like, and it wouldn't let me stop it, and I was like, "Uh-oh, it looks like we're going live." So I did it. But yes, MDE, happy to see you here, brother. Always. But yeah, it all depends on the free agency move. And it also depends on who re-signs who. A guy that I think would be great is Cade Mays. But if the Panthers re-sign him, that's out the question. I think that's a better, more viable solution at center for a vet. And then still taking a guy like either or SJB is always a good thing. Yeah, I hear you, brother. So let's break that down a little bit. Let's look at the top guys in the draft. Connor Lew, he's had 2 different ACL surgeries since he's been in college. I'd avoid him like the plague. We don't need a guy with leg history. So your next one up to me is Logan Jones. Then it's Parker Brailsworth out of Alabama. Then it's Jake Slaughter out of Florida. Jake Slaughter, after the combine, may move up. He had a great Senior Bowl, but let's face it, most of the top flight guys defensively didn't play in this draft. Why? They didn't have to. Why? Why put on film more when you had more out there already? That's why Ruben Bain and Akeem Messidor didn't play. A couple of the big defensive tackles didn't play. So was he up against the best athlete in NCAA? No, he was up against people of the same tier. Logan Jones never gave up a hold, never gave up a sack, um, and is a communicator on that deep offensive line. For me, he's the number 1 guy in this draft at center. Then it's Parker Brailsford. Then it's Jake Slaughter. Then it's Connor Lew and whoever you want after that. I personally, if you get down to that point, I'd take Trey Zune out of Texas A&M. The guy is as versatile, the versatility of him and I may even pick him up later in the draft as well. His versatility is off the charts. He's played every position on the Texas A&M offensive line, left and right guard, left and right tackle, and played center this season and done it well. He wasn't the best, but he damn sure wasn't the worst in NCAA. Texas A&M had a very good run this year. They just went up against better teams. And just for you, MDE, another $37.50 to the therapist. I call him the Swift Army knife of the offensive line, is what Trey Zoon is. So next week, I think I'm going to do 2 defensive ones. I'm probably going to do. You tell me. Do you want the Danny Dennis Sutton, or do you want Kenyatta Jackson Jr. as the profile focus for Monday? I'm going to make your therapist rich in a week, buddy. Yeah, that's right. We've been rebranding and doing everything, trying to make this right. If you guys need a link to my article so you can read my draft profile, there they go. That QR link will take you right to my articles at the South Florida Tribune under the Motor City Tribune heading. I see we got Steve Bauer and Dave Eastman up there making it. And we got Patty Grimes in the chat. Either one is great. If I'm going to go broke, I might as well learn something. But I think Robert Swift would love the Danny Dennis Sutton one. So I think that's the one I'm doing on Monday. And then I'm going to go to the other guy that the defensive end too, and Gabe Jacobs. I actually like him a little bit better than Danny Dennis Sutton. I think he's going to go in day 2. I think he's a solid day 2 pick, along with Kenyatta Jackson Jr. and Gabe Jacobs and Anthony Lucas out of USC. What up, Joe? RBF? Good to see you, brother. Gotta grab me a tube. Yes, the only podcaster with the face for radio doing video out there. That's what I always say. I had I had a female message me and say, "Are you handsome?" And I said, "I've used my handsome." Absolutely, I'm going to be on for a while. I'm going to be on till almost 1 o'clock. I go to work at 1:30 today. Absolutely, I'd love to have you join, Fred. Same link as you had last time. Yeah, I think it sounds like that too. Yes, he is, and I get it that Max Crosby's upset, but I think even though he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild, I think he wants to see who they get as DC there at Las Vegas before he makes a decision. And I think if they end up with a guy like Jim Schwartz, he's staying right there. And that's just my opinion. But if they did make the move and everybody says, "Oh, don't go to the AFC," I see. I don't think we do a lot of best players available. That's one thing Brad usually doesn't do. He does best player available on his board. So I wish I could be in Allen Park and see that board and see who he has rated high. I think he's going to go offensive tackle or center. Actually, offensive tackle or edge in the first round. I don't think we're going guard. If we did go guard, it'll be later in the draft. And I think it's because they trust in Mahogany and Frazier because Frazier looked promising for the little bit he was in, and they're going to let them battle it out for that starting position at left guard. I think Ratledge stays right where he's at right guard, and we draft the center. That's just me, and that's what I would do. I just feel like that's the right way to go. And if we do take a guard, it'll be in day 3 with the extra picks because you can only count on starters out of the first 3 rounds. I haven't seen all of it. There isn't a center with a first round grade this year. The only one that had a first round grade was Connor Liu, and he has an ACL tear, so he's going to fall to the second or third round. There's none worth the first round pick this year, in my opinion, until after the combine. You know what's funny is before the draft, I named off five, five wide receivers. I named 5 wide receivers that were tall. And the reason why I said that was the only thing this offense was missing was a big bodied, sure handed wide receiver. And I did talk about Isaac Tesla prior to the draft. RBF was here. I said I named off the Higgins, the one that went to the Texans. I named off about 2 or 3 more, and then I said, and then there's Isaac Tesla. Slaughter right now is still considered a late day 2 to early day 3 pick, but I don't think he's the best center this draft. I don't care what anybody says. The best center this draft is Logan Jones. If Slaughter was the best center in college football, he'd have won the Remington Award. That was one Logan Jones. Slaughter also had 8 holding penalties, 10 false starts. Mr. Dumbass strikes, I should have known. Yeah, I think defensive end can be anywhere in this draft. The talent drop off in day 2 is huge from the first one. I don't think we're going to have a center. Uh, I think we're going to sign one and draft one. I Safety's going to be hit this draft, and if I'm going to take a sleeper safety, it's going to be that guy that was moved to linebacker the last year at Oklahoma. I want that 6'5", 242-pound linebacker slash safety named Kendall Daniels. The guy came into college at 6'1" and 215 pounds and grew 4 inches and put on 27 pounds to be a linebacker his senior year. Kendall Daniels. That's who I want. I want him somewhere in the 6th or 7th round. I also want a backup case. Now, if we trade away Montgomery, 100% I want Chip Trianum or Mike Washington if we take one earlier for running back. Uh, if we're going to take one, I want to trade up into the 3rd round. If you're going to take a safety early and get Jalen Kilgore out of South Carolina, I think he fits. He's Kirby Joseph, but hits like Brian Branch. He has ball hawking skills and tackles well. Well, that Kendall Daniels is more than just a linebacker. Um, I wrote a draft profile on him. I think that's going to be my Wednesday focus. Uh, so far, people are saying this Dr. Chow, but guess what? He's not a knee surgeon. And I've already heard, don't listen to these internet doctors. They don't know what they're talking about. He doesn't have a degenerative disease. Um, they talked about wear and tear. Wear and tear is everyday use, guys. So I want to see what the actual report is come just before or just before free agency on what's being said about Joseph. I know he had a surgery to clean up, and he's expected to be back for training camp. That's all I've heard, and I'm leaving it at that until I hear different. Until I hear different from the Lions coaching staff or the front office, I'm going to trust what they say over anybody on the internet. But I'm still drafting one and signing one this offseason. And the one I'd like to sign, because he did good in a spot start for us when everybody else got hurt before, I want Ife Melifonwu back. I also want to bring back Maddox. Yasin deserves to be back. I'm not sure DJ Reed should be here anymore. He's awful. He's too short to be a CB1. Terrion Arnold's cleanup surgery on his shoulder for the second one was a success. I loved watching the interviews from the Pro Bowl better than the Pro Bowl. So, yeah, because Kendall Daniels, uh, I never read that Vaki was a ball hawk at safety. So I don't know where you heard that. I heard that he graded out better on special teams and running back than he did at safety. I wouldn't bring Anzalone back because he's over 30 years old. His contract is up, which means we'd have to invest more cap room into an aging player that may not make it through an entire season. And that's why I don't like if we go top of the line at center, we will not draft one. Let, listen to what I'm saying. If we bail out and get all this cap room everybody projects we get up to that 80, 90 million, and we go grab somebody like Linderbaum. We're not drafting a center. I just don't see it happening. And I also don't see it as a 1 year deal to get him. He's going to want a 4 to 5, 6 year deal to be a part of a team. And that's why I said somebody like the Giants actually makes more sense for him because face it, they got Jacob Jingleheimer Smith. Um, Aiden Fisher out of Indiana is a nice day three or late day three or early day three pick. Lander Barton out of Utah if you need a linebacker. But don't forget, we got Derek Barnes, who's played some off-ball linebacker. He's done way better on the edge. I'd leave him right there. And Malcolm Rodriguez does okay when he comes in for Anzalone. He was just coming off an injury. Lee McNeil played awful coming off an injury. He had one bad game, one good game, his first game back, which was versus the Bucs, and then he disappeared. DJ Reader disappeared all season. It was Malik Williams and Roy Lopez that was the better DT2 all season. But what do I know? It should be Williams and McNeil if he's back playing well in the off season and healthy and back to form like he was the year before when he was actually collapsed in the pocket and getting pressure. If not, my starters might be Roy and Williams. I hate saying that, but both of them had more collapsed pockets and pressures and tackles for loss than either one of the other two, and they only played 30% of the snaps combined. Let's be realistic about it, and I would be willing to bring AQM back. I'm sorry, we had 11.5 sacks out of AQM. The whole defense disappeared at the same time, and it happened to coincide when Dan Campbell stopped focusing on both sides of the ball. That's why we did the 2 OC things in the offensive coordinator and senior offensive assistant, which hasn't been a title named yet, but that's all it's called for Mike Kafka. They're 2 different OCs. One is more of a passing guy, one's more of a running guy. This offense could be electric with them working together to build a playbook around this roster. Fix the O-line, you fix the entire offense. Notice how Monty didn't get his 4 yards per carry this year? What was it? 3.8, 3.9? That was because of the O-line. He was averaging 4.7 last year. Gibbs did Gibbs things, but he still didn't average as much as last year. So fix the O-line, fix the run game. Fix the run game, fix the play action. Fix the play action, you fix the rest of the offense. That's just being realistic. We're not all bad on offense. We were a top 5 offense with a horrible O-line. When I say horrible, we were down around 20th. Yeah, it hasn't been published yet. That'll be published tonight. I'll get that out tonight. MDE. And it all stems from fixing the O-line. We fix the O-line, this offense is going to be electric this next season. It was electric this season, and people are calling Jared Goff a bum because he was sacked 36 times this year. Second most in his career. You know what? Which was the only year worse than that? 2019 with the Rams when they had the 29th offensive line in the league, and we weren't that bad. But he got spoiled. We had a top 5 O-line his first 4 seasons here. But that's on Brad, isn't it? Isn't that on your CEO of player acquisitions to make sure that he has the right people around him? He needs trenches and good O-line play to be to be Mr. Perfect like he was last year versus the Seahawks. What was it, 18-18 in that win? Or the year before, I should say. And then because he doesn't throw a 20th pass, it doesn't go into the NFL rookie record book. It was the most consecutive passes without an incompletion in NFL history, and it didn't go in because he didn't complete or didn't attempt 20 passes. And that was with the top 5 O-line. So we get our O-line playing like that again, and I think Logan Jones is the right guy. He's going to be a solid starter for 10 years, maybe a Pro Bowler, maybe a Hall of Famer at center, which is rare, but he's that damn good. I don't think Ragnow's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he might make the Hall of Fame. Look at what he did for us. In his career, he did great for us at center, even on bad teams. Kudos to Bob Quinn for picking offensive linemen. He couldn't pick anybody else to save his butt. Yeah, people were saying Goff was a bum. I know, Brent. I'm defending him. Is what I'm saying. Goff had a great year. Second in yardage, second in touchdowns, tied for 5th in interceptions with one Caleb Williams. Goff had a great year. If we'd have done anything, if we'd have won one more game, he'd have been in the MVP conversation. Nobody's talking about that. They're all ball glazing Stafford and May. He threw for 4,500 yards. As a team, we barely rushed for 2,000, which was 400 yards less than the previous season because we had 2,400 yards when you added in all the backups. So O-line played matters. That's what I'm getting at. I know. I know. I've been defending it all off season. And towards the end of the season, we got a pair of Lions fans that say, "Oh, we should trade them away." For who? And somebody said Allen. I was like, "Wait, what has Allen done in the playoffs better than Goff?" Goff played in 2 NFC championship games, won one, lost one. I know. I talked about that too. He ended up being seventh. The seventh was a top 7 quarterback overall when he was playing. I I don't understand. And despite having 7 different starting running backs or 6, whatever it was, and Goff went to a Super Bowl. Like I said, he won an NFC championship game and lost one. And in that Super Bowl, it wasn't his fault they lost. I, 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 I don't understand how people don't understand drops are significant. And one of the guys that dropped in that Super Bowl is the same one that cost us 2 first downs versus San Francisco. They hit him in the hands. Passes from Goff to Josh Reynolds. 7 rounds to 5 now that we don't have pennies anymore. Yeah, I hear you. The extra 4th we got this year is from when AG went to the Jets because he was a minority coach. We got 2 times. Thank you, sir. We're in a good spot. We got to start doing our restructures. That's what we can do right now. That's the only thing that you can do really as team moves is restructure, and those need to start soon. It is almost that time. I need to hear it, Mr. MD. You know what I need to hear? Put the words in.
Nice.
There they are. And away we go. OC, edge, OC. I don't know why they got guard on there. So here's where we got. I got 3 trade offers. I'm not even going to look at them right now. But you got Messidor and Proctor. So now let's look at these trades. Let's look at these trades. I'm not taking that one. Now that's tempting. Go back to 27, get pick 58 in next year's third. But I want to see if something. That's yeah. I'm not going all the way to the What do you think? Tell me, do I take that San Francisco trade? We trade pick 17 for 27 and get 58 plus the 2027 third round from San Francisco. Do I take that trade or do I make the pick? I think I'm going to take the trade. That's what I thought. Oh, I rejected it. Damn it. Okay, that was San Francisco. I give up the 17th. They give up 27, 58 in next year's third. They rejected it. Okay. Looks like I'm not. Okay. Messador. Do I? Hmm. I'm going to do something different here. We're taking Akeem Messador right here. I got a plan. Ooh, I don't like that one. I don't like that one either. I got Logan Jones. Bear with me here. It's going to work out all right. Okay. Well, that's a lot of picks, but I'm losing 118. What's the pick? My next one's 155. Let's look at this trade again. Damn it, I hit the wrong button on that San Francisco trade. I think that'll set us up nice. 118 and 222, but I get 152. Yeah, I don't like it. It's too far back. So now I'm going to go OT and see who's here. Wow. Transition to guard is also on the table. Yeah, he doesn't have good knee bend. Trying to see if I see anybody else. Yeah, everybody's gone. So I'm going to take the versatile guy. Played every position on the O line. That's everybody. Now I'm going to go safety. Deshaun Singleton at 203. I'm going to take the guy that's going to be here. I think he'll be here a while. Cornerback. He's the tall one. Yeah, 6'1" and 193. Yeah, I can't go any shorter than that. Now I'm going to do. Am I going to double down? No, not yet. I only got 2 picks left. So since it looks like we're keeping Monty, yeah, it would have been cool, but it didn't work out for me. Yes, I am. I'm trying to be the Nostradamus on Logan Jones. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to screenshot this, and we're going to see what we ended up with. And I might do one more. What the heck? We'll do a double dip in the mock draft pool today. Anybody against it? This time I won't be so quick to hit the button. So, in a way, we go. Here is the latest mock results. Akeem Messador, Logan Logan Jones, Trey Zune, Deshaun Singleton, Kendall Daniels, Dalen Everett, Jack Strand, and Riley Nikowski. Um, we do know that Sam Laporta will be back by training camp. It was just a herniated disc he had surgery on, not shattered vertebrae or some degenerative back disease. So I went edge, OC. This says OC, but he plays every position. If you haven't read it, it's on my South Florida Tribune. Go read the Trey Zune article. He's played both tackle positions. He's played both guard positions and center in his 4 years. Deshaun Singleton of Nebraska, Kendall Daniels of Oklahoma, Dalen Everett of Georgia, Jack Strand of MSU Moorhead Dragons, and Riley Nikowski of the Indiana Hoosiers. The nice thing about him is he's 6'2", he's 239. He's not super fast, but he's strong as a nut. He blocks really well, and he also plays fullback. So I'm going to have to do one on Riley Nowakowski too. But yeah, let me take this off, and we're going to do another one. Because I'm just filling time now. I already have it set, ready, set, and roll. This time I'm going to take a little more time reading those trades. All right. Trade offers. Oh, look at that. 29 and 61, but giving up 118. 56, 81, 88, and 100 plus next year's second. That one's intriguing. But 28 and 38. So Rams or Houston? That's where I'm at. Rams or Houston? Who do you take, Chad? I think I take that Houston one because you only go back to 28 and you get the 38 pick. Yes, it is. I love it. We're simpatico, GMTA. I'm not taking that one. Not taking this one. There we go. That just means I got to make a trade back that gets me a fourth too because we're losing 118. But I'm gaining that 38 pick. So I'm going to try it. Let's see what happens. Okay. Two trade offers. Yeah, I'm not trading with Green Bay. They can go eat it. Now look, I get a third here and go back to 48, but I have nothing. Okay, this is where I'm going to go look and see what's available. TJ Parker, 6'3" and 265. Not horrible. Man, there's nobody at offense. If I'm taking one, I like Vega here. 6'4" and 330. This guy's okay, but I don't like him as much. Caden McDonald, not undersized. Caleb Banks out of Florida, 6'6" and 324. Chris Johnson, 6' and 190. I think I'm taking the trade offer as much as I hate to say it. I'm taking it. Because everybody else for offensive tackle is later, and we have 38, 48, and 50, plus 79. We will get a fourth round pick out of this. We're not taking a pick in the first round. I'm not trading this one back. Oh, man. Yep. Max Ahinakor is the guy I love. I think I'm taking him here. Natural right tackle moves Swift to left. Or Sewell. Now at 48, now we got options. I want to see what we got here. Yeah, I don't like that. Am I trading with the evil empire? And look, they have them as losing the Super Bowl. So next year's 7th and 48 for 60. I like it. Not trading this one. Now, Seattle. That's the only trade back one spot. Let's see who's available first. I'm going to trade back the one spot. Now, that's what I was looking for. We get 117 back and pick 60. I'm going this route. I already got my. There we go. Now I get my safety, the guy I want. I already got a fourth round pick. I'm not trading anymore. I've done what I wanted to do. LT Overton. I want the violent hands. No, no way am I trading with the Packers. There's Trotter. I want him. 117. If he's there, I want him. Yep. The Godfather. Now at 155. I'm gonna go back to the corner. I think it was Domani Jackson I like. Yeah, he's 6'1", 152. At 203. I think I'm gonna double down on offense and see if he's still here. Trey Zune's still here. I have fixed the entire offensive line. Now I can just do whatever I want in this draft. Linebacker, Kendall Daniels. Safety. No, we got it. I forgot. We're on the last two picks. It's not sexy for casual fans, but not having a first for more later isn't necessarily bad. Have to read the draft, pivot when necessary, and pounce when able. I think I ended up with a great draft here. Let's see what we end up getting, because I like doing it this way. It makes it more fun for me. So we went from 8 picks to 11. I remember I've done a lot of these draft profiles already. Yep. So now let's see what these 11 picks equal. 12 if you count the one I got for next year too. Oh, I 13 picks. Excuse me. I got a second and a seventh out of it. So let's get the comment off the screen. Max Ahinakor at offensive tackle, Logan Jones at center, Jalen Kilgore at safety, Gabe Jacobs at edge, Hosea Trotter from Missouri, Dante Corleone out of Cincinnati, Domani Jackson out of Alabama, Trey Zune, the offensive center that's also played guard and tackle, Kendall Daniels out of Oklahoma, Riley Nowakowski, and Jack Strand. And then I got a second for next year and a seventh for next year. That's a win. This right here, from all of this to here, the fourth round, those are your meat of the NFL. Those are your guys that play your 3 to 5 years every time. That is the rank and file of the NFL. But I think Logan Jones is that guy. I'm going to take him more often than I don't. Ask Ask MDE. He knows. He's been watching me enough. Think about this lineage, Trotter. I know you know the name. Everybody was mad we didn't get Trotter Jr. last year. Well, now we got his little brother, Gabe Jacobs, most violent hands in the draft. I love this guy. He's a bull rush. Thank you. I got us a couple linebackers and Trotter and Daniels can also play in the box safety, replacing Brian Branch. Jack Strand is a backup quarterback to be developed. Max Ahinicor. What can you say about this kid? He did a great job at the Senior Bowl. He stood out. Yes, yes, he was. And Jeremiah Trotter Jr. isn't looking bad over there with Philly. And I think he looked better in college than Trotter Jr. Dante Corleone, he's a six. Let me bring that up. I think he's 6'1" and 320. And he has pass rush ability. Kamani Jackson, 6'1", 190-pound corner. Trey Zune, I've got the draft profile in my writing. Kendall Daniels is there in my writings. Jack Strand's there in my writings. Gabe Jacobs is there. Logan Jones, Max Ahinicor. Notice the trend there? Next, I'm going to do Dante Coleon, Riley Nowakowski, and Hosea Trotter. And Monty Jackson. What the hell? I'll do a couple corners too. I've also did one on Jalen Kilgore. It just hasn't been published yet. I got to get the optics ready for it to submit it. But there you go. This is the one I did while you weren't watching, Fred. Akeem Messidor, Logan Jones, Trey Zune, Deshaun Singleton, Kendall Daniels, Dalen Everett, Jack Strand, and Riley Nowakowski. I just picked where we were because I hit the reject button instead of the accept on a trade. Otherwise, we'd have been way better off. I'm keeping that 11, technically a 13 pick draft in there. That was a good one. I think that's possibly one of my best drafts yet. That's a rebuild the team draft right there in 1 year. No free agency. That's without us knowing what we get in free agency. And that's you have to focus on that because so far you have to assume that guys will be resigned at the top end out of those top 50 free agents because they usually are. You usually end up with like maybe 10 to 15 of them that make it to free agency. I think Mike Evans is going to end up a Bill. If he goes there, this that'll be Josh Allen's best shot. God, I love that draft. I do. That one was exciting. So what do you think, guys? Yeah, possibly, but I think I they don't have a lot of cap room. Bills have more cap room right now. That was a lot. That was a fun mock. I love the wheeling and dealing. I'm just trying to think outside the box. What can we do to get more? I would rather have a ton of 2 through 4 picks. And the reason why is the second round is where you get a lot of starters from. And you hit more often than you do in the first round, usually. That hasn't been the case with Brad Holmes until he got Sam Laporta and Brian Branch. The first 2 drafts was Josh Pascal and Levi Onwuzurike. Yeah, I wish I could do that. I wish they did watch me. There was a fake Brad Holmes that used to come in. It was funny. I don't know if he trades for players or makes trades in the draft. He's been one of the most active GMs in the draft for trading the 3 years in a row. At the trade deadline, if we're in a position, I think he will make a trade. Um, Prior to the season, I don't think he's going to make any trade. That's not in his nature. If he does, it's usually for somebody that nobody's thinking about for next to nothing in draft capital, like next year's 6th round or 7th round pick for Trinity Benson that didn't work out, but it was worth a shot because the guy was a fast receiver. He was tall but not big. The trade for Michael Brockers and all that prior to the season. That's the type of moves we make prior to the season that I've seen. But we got to clear some cap before I'll even say he'll make a flashy move in free agency because we don't have it right now. We got to clear cap to sign the rookies, and that's where I think his mindset is re-signing our players and the rookies. If he is at Miami, but he'll be a free agent this year. He was only signed to a 1 year contract, and he actually played well for him, but got hurt again. So, like I said, as a spot start to fill in until either Kirby or Brian Branch is 100%, I'm good with it. But I want Maddox back. Maddox played well. Thomas Harper played great. Those are 2 guys we need to bring back. But first and foremost, we got to bring back Laporta. We got to bring back Branch. We're going to accept the 5th-year options on Campbell and Gibbs because you don't have to work on their deal for till sometime in the season, just like we did with JMO and Hutch. I predicted those things would happen last year, and they did. So I think it's going to be more of the same. And I pretty much nailed where all of the monies would end up. I said he'd make more than Watt and less than Parsons. He did. I said 24 to 29 million for JMO. It landed right in the middle of it. You know, people don't think I pay attention to this stuff. I do, but that's just average per year. That's not the cap hit per year. So You got to look at both sides of that. But this has been another episode of Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. It has been my pleasure to chat with all of you gentlemen, and this one's for you as I head out. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Have a great day, everybody. And peace, love, and chicken grease.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.